I knew the instant he shut the door that this was not a simple request. It was the introduction to blatant disrespect. His voice was overly courteous, too cautious, the way executives speak when they have already settled on an outcome and just require your compliance. "My daughter needs your executive space," he announced. I offered a pleasant expression. "Certainly," I responded. But internally something shifted, a quiet finality, like the first turn of the key on a door I was about to walk through and never reopen. Benson believed he had moved a chess pawn, but in reality he had released the queen. It's amusing to recall that I once admired him. I first met Benson during my 4th day at the corporation. He possessed charisma in that standard corporate manner, a firm handshake, a gleaming timepiece, motivational phrases displayed in his area as if he needed reminders of the person he pretended to be. He claimed he saw potential in me. He claimed I was the future foundation of the entire division. He claimed many things. I trusted him because at that time confidence came easily. Back then, dedication meant something valuable to me. I constructed his department from scratch, stabilized the inherent disarray, and carried the workload that made his financial bonuses achievable. I did it all believing he understood my professional worth. But commitment is a risky asset when the opposing party trades in self-interest. The initial indicators of the change were subtle, almost unnoticeable. Meetings I was no longer invited to attend, assignments quietly reassigned for team diversity, decisions finalized without my direct contribution. Then arrived the new recruits, his chosen favorites, youthful, privileged and predictable reflections of himself. They entered the building with an air of entitlement. I entered with concrete results, and the data never lied. But Benson did. He began claiming my strategies as his own. My presentations were collective team efforts. My accomplishments were merely fortunate timing. I should have challenged him, but I remained silent, observing, analyzing, collecting evidence. If Benson was digging a pit, I wanted to see exactly how profound he intended to make it. The crucial moment, the day he requested my office, wasn't degrading. It was enlightening. He gestured vaguely, as if the rationale were self-evident. "My daughter has joined the business. She requires a suitable workplace." Of course, she did. And naturally, that space would be taken from me. Not from an empty office down the hall, not from someone expendable, but from me, the person who maintained the entire operation. I nodded like the compliant subordinate he imagined I was. "I will complete my tasks from home," I stated casually. He sighed, obviously relieved. He assumed I had accepted my reduced status, but I did not concede I detached myself completely. Working from my residence afforded me a luxury I hadn't possessed previously: quietude. In silence, recurring events become evident. In silence, falsehoods lose their appeal. In silence, you discover precisely what an organization can and cannot sustain itself without. I retrieved every document I had generated over the years. Operational maps, procedural guidelines, supplier contacts, performance data, every fundamental blueprint of how the department truly operated, all documented, perfectly structured, all authored by me, and all legally my property. Concurrently, I diminished my visible participation gradually, subtly, until the team started feeling the strain. Completion dates were missed, suppliers hesitated, performance metrics declined. Benson blamed transitional difficulties. His daughter blamed the rest of the personnel. I blamed nothing. I merely observed. And finally, I withdrew the sole element they had never fully recognized I was providing: my expertise. 1 week after I vacated the premises, he phoned me, not with indignation, but with sheer panic. "We are behind on 3 major deliveries," he said, his voice strained. "Do you have a minute to join a quick digital meeting?" "I don't," I replied. "I resigned." Silence, followed by confusion, then outright dread. "You resigned when?" "A week ago. The same day you reassigned my office. I sent an email to Human Resources. Didn't they inform you?" HR knew. The management board knew. Legal counsel knew. Everyone except Benson. I had informed them all with a detailed exit package, complete with every error he'd concealed, every achievement he'd stolen, every structural weakness he had caused. not out of malice but out of factual necessity. Benson had constructed his authority on the illusion of command. I simply exposed the reality. He requested a video conference, labeling it urgent. He sought resolution, understanding, perhaps even pardon. I offered none of it. I joined the call, composed, steady, already free. "You blindsided me," he accused. "You removed my office," I countered. "That wasn't personal." "It was," I said. "But my departure wasn't personal. That was entirely professional. You removed me from the central operations, so I removed myself entirely." His face went pale as the full understanding dawned upon him. He had lost the only person who made him appear capable, not through aggressive sabotage, but through simple, devastating absence. Sometimes the most satisfying retribution is merely withdrawing and allowing individuals to confront the consequences of the circumstances they created. And now I work for myself, from my house, by choice, not by force. My executive space is mine, my hours are mine, my quietude is mine. And Benson, he is discovering what I always understood. Organizations do not fail when you depart from them. They fail because they relied entirely upon you and never once noticed. My vengeance was not dramatic. It was precise, and it was perfectly executed.